All right, just doing some A/B checks. Oh, there we go. It's working. It's working, everyone. All right, welcome back to another stream. Hi. Yeah, so we will go ahead and get this thing set up straight. And got the podcast stuff down there. We can go ahead and turn that off because we are not podcasting. We're streaming today. Do we like the orange background? I like the orange background. We'll rock that. Yeah, so sorry I was late. Had a awesome podcast session. Couldn't shut up. We were talking about the SOC. Definitely check that out. It'll be out later this week after some slight editing. And yeah, so we are going to do some try hack me again. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, and I'm just setting up everything here. So yeah, let's go ahead and share the screen. So Ethan is my friend that I'm always talking shit about on here in terms of he is killing it in Try Hack Me, and I'm trying to catch up with him. I'm like 1/5 his score. He's up here now. He's ranked 10,757 out of I don't know how many. I wonder if it'll tell us how many users are actually on here. I don't know, but he's up there. He's killing it. He's doing good stuff. And I just want to be cool like him. He's a legend. Legend. So, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and clean up this situation we have going on here. Don't save. So I just left this like I did last time. Just chilling. All right, so that's going, and let's go ahead and open up another terminal here. And we can zoom in because I know everyone wants to be able to see. To learn the quick key for that. All right, so let's go find something fun to do. We'll make this bigger. Go dashboard. There's a threat hunting simulator now. All right, we're gonna have to try that out. So it looks like it's giving us funky stuff. Give me a second, let me log in. We're going to stop sharing for a second as I log in here. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to get at least one thing, one room, one challenge, whatever we want to call it, before calling it quits today. And you can get a little bit closer to overtaking him. I think if we're doing 2 sessions a week, we may be able to catch up with him within a couple of months, which would be cool. Then I can say, bro, we beat you. It's just friendly competition. Trying to type and talk at the same time is like chewing bubble gum and walking. I don't know if you ever heard that. And it doesn't help because password's so long. All right, it worked. All right, let's go back to sharing because sharing's caring, right? All right. What do we feel like doing today? So I don't have any of these like actual courses done. So like they have specific learning paths. I don't have any of those done. So I was thinking about doing one of those. Like maybe we could audit the SOC level 1, SOC level 2, junior pen testing maybe. Like audit one of these, go through them. Advanced endpoint investigations. That sounds fun. Let's start with the junior stuff and work our way up because I do want to see what they're teaching people now because this is the only chance I ever have to see what people are learning these days because otherwise I'm busy doing my own research and stuff. None of these actually sound any fun. Okay, how about offensive pen testing? Offensive pen testing. Is there anything else? I don't know. Oh, so there's some cool rooms here. Yeah, these are a lot of cool rooms. So I've done a good bit of these actually. Let's enroll in Path and see if it marks any of my stuff done, and we'll hit some of the ones I haven't done. So I did most of those. And so many messages today, it's killing me. Let's see what this person has to say. Let's see. We have Kenobi. Kenobi sounds like a good time. So what did I miss in blue, I wonder? Because I think this was Eternal Blue. Yeah, let's do this one again. I don't want to do it with an attack box, though. So let's start machine. We'll do Eternal Blue. This should be pretty straightforward, and then we can go ahead and mark this one off. Flag 3, the flag can be found in an excellent location to loot. After all, administrators usually have pretty interesting things saved. Windows really doesn't like the location of the flags. That one's probably in temp. Cool. Yeah, let's walk through this. We'll give it a second to spin up. So we start the system. How many ports are open? We already did that. Eternal Blue. We had to set our host. This is a flag it used. I would use a interpreter shell, especially if there's not any antivirus in there. Don't need to convert it. Well, I guess you could do that. I don't ever remember doing that, but that sounds like a good time. So let's walk through this and do it really quick. We'll put it over here to the side. And then we're going to MSF console. So for those who have never heard of Eternal Blue, it's one of my favorite ones, and I'm trying to think when the last time I've seen this in the wild during a pen test, and it's probably maybe 5 years ago was the last time I've seen it. So this came out of one of the NSA leaks. I forgot. Shadow Brokers is the name of it, and it was pretty big at the time. And that's because it was basically an auto pwn where you kick it off and you're golden. Which is crazy because as long as you're in the environment, you have access, direct access, network access at the network layer of a system that was vulnerable to this, you're automatically elevated. You could start dumping credentials. So it's already got an interpreter reverse shell, which is great. So that's what was awesome about it. And I think there's a really good Darknet Diaries episode about Eternal Blue. I think it's Darknet Diaries. It might have been Malicious Life, but Malicious Life I don't think is on air anymore. It was a really good series, probably still on probably still on Spotify, but they talked about this and how Microsoft ended up finding the issue. This is a really cool story. So is Eternal Blue is the answer. So MS17010. And we just searched blue. You could have search Eternal Blue and we can see it here. That's the name of the exploit. So there's our answers. Gain access. So really, we just need to launch the exploit. So we have to set our hosts, which is what I was looking at a second ago. We'll set it. I am not going to use the normal shell. If I have a chance, I'll use an interpreter shell. It just has more functionality versus a simple shell where I can upload, download files, which is really nice. Makes life easy. And so we'll just go ahead and use what's in here. Now with that, we do need to probably set our L host, which is us, our listening host, where it's going to call back to. Set L host to tune 0. I used to set it with a IP address, but it's easier just if you know your interface, just to tell it, and then we should be good to go. It should automatically select the specific version of the exploit to utilize, and we can see it matching to the Windows version and Service Pack and all of that. That should give us a shell. We shouldn't have to, so this is saying escalate to a Metasploit, but it's really not escalating because we should already have system, so into authority system. So we're not truly escalating, we're pivoting, improving our access. If we go from just a simple shell to an interpreter shell, that's improving access. If you want a real pen test, you may decide to set up a backdoor, so as a service or startup item, something like that, just to make sure if you do lose access, which could happen, you can blue screen something. I have blue screened the server with this, so it does happen. So this is one of the ones I didn't want to run too many times. Like if I lost access, I'd be very hesitant to run again. And last time I did run this, I let them know it was a very key server. And I said, hey, I think you're vulnerable to this. I want to run it, but I want to make sure someone's there in case something happens. And I just set up a backup plan to make sure things were straight so the customer wouldn't have any issues for us. So we do have a shell. We have NT authority system. We can do anything we want. What it's asking us to do is run hash dump. But I think we have to install. Oh, no, we don't have to run it. It used to be you had to install Kiwi to be able to get this, but I guess not. So we got hashes. We can crack that password with John the Ripper or JTR or whatever you happen to have. So yeah, I mean, we can do that real quick or not. I'd rather just move forward, but let's crack. Let's crack. So we need to convert, and what I'm gonna do, because I don't remember the syntax for this, so there's two tricks we can do here. One, we can post it in just Google, and someone will give us an answer, which is great for labs, or real world, right, you want to crack it. But let's take a second to look at these. So when we look at the first part of this hash, we see the same result here. Does this mean they all have the same password? Nope. Well, kind of. It means nothing's in there. And this is basically you wouldn't be able to relay this hash. What we want to be able to do, which we could actually do past the hash, is utilize this second part to do that. So this is just a standard NTLM hash, and we can crack it or we can relay it. So just for future pen testers out there, these hashes are just as good as a password. There are some cases where you do actually need the password, and it does make things easier. But in a lot of cases, this is just as good. So for instance, if you have Gosh, what's it called? I'm trying to remember. Um, it's a bypass. What is it? Gosh, the sucky thing about doing these streams at the end of the day is you forget stuff. It's the screen that pops up to ask for your password whenever you want to do something with elevated permission. Um, if you have a password, you can just work straight around that. If you don't, you have to do a bypass. Um, Dang, I can't think of the word. It's killing me. I'll think about it later. But yeah, like I said, there's some cases where it just makes it easier. So let's show you the first way. First way, and so this is a new one. I haven't seen Hacker DNA, but there are like different groups that are cracking hashes for you. And if it shows up in there, like if it's a common password, like this, you don't have to go through the effort of cracking it. Um, I don't know what this is. I thought it was going to give us the thing, but it's not. Um, Maybe it'll let us unhash. I don't know. Whatever. All right, so we got it, and we have the hash here. Now, let's see, NTLM, JTR, crack. So we just want to just crack the hash with JTR. So there's specific formatting that you need to be doing with John, or it won't work. Let's do Rapid 7. I like Rapid 7's content generally. So what we are looking for is we probably just want to use RockU to crack the hash. We need to make sure we give it the proper, I don't like that. Let's see. NTLM hash crack cheat sheet maybe. Oh, Hack the Box might have something. Sorry, try hack me. We're not exclusive. Let's see. Scrolling quickly. NTLM relay. Command execution. Is this all crackmap exec? I think it is. Darn it. Pentest Monkey. Yes, I used to love them when I was doing my OSCP. I'm not Kerberos. Not net NTLM, so there is a difference here. And the crappy thing is I just don't remember. I just don't happen to remember which one it is. It should be NTLM. It should just be, so this is NTLM1. It should be NTLM V2, maybe? I forget at the end of the day. What we can do is the what style hash this was. See, hash dump, hash version. It should be NTLM. Maybe I can do it with John the Ripper. Oh, yeah. We can't. I've actually never done it this way. So let's see. So we can background. Let's do it this way. This may be more fun. So let's see. Use this. And we can always resume our session in a second. Ooh, search JTR. They might have changed what it was called. Ah, it's not in here. What? Maybe it's like a module someone added. Oh, here we go. John, crack AIX. We do like a search crack. Let's try that. So use 36. So if you're curious why I'm using the number, I'm just using this number. Show options. So let's see. Does it not give you the ability to select unless it's pulling it? Probably because we don't have the database on. Let's see what the error says. Error, no method defined as each for nil. So I'm never gonna live this down. Struggling to actually crack the hash. Um, all right. So there's usually like I have a cheat sheet where all this stuff is in there and I just do it and I never have to worry about it. Let's see, we need specific mode is what we're looking for. Not this type of mode, but which I think it's the TAC-M switch that we're feeding it. Wonder if I can search NTLM. Nope. All right, Station X, what you got, man? John. I wish I had my laptop, my other one, so I could just pull it. Seriously, just give me an NTLM. All right, here we go. So scope arc, we suggest generating your own NTLM functionality and format LM. All right. So we just care about this. We'll save it. We'll have to modify it though for sure. And we'll put it here. If I remember correctly, and I have to look this crap up every frickin' time, that there is an easy way to convert. And you just have to get the specific version. Is it S? No. Man, Maybe this is it. Because what I'm looking for is like a clear explanation of how to do it so that it can be shown on the screen. It is becoming like the most ridiculous thing ever. Let's see if it actually tells. Sometimes they have guardrails in place that don't answer. I don't know if Google does. ChatGPT sometimes does. Yeah, see, here's ethical considerations. Let's see if like talking to it works. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so let's do it here. Um, what format should my hash be in? So we will have to modify this to make sure it's in the correct format. So this is just saying it wants us to leave it blank, and I just wanted to show you guys that. There are other ways to do it so that it will show you which account it's for, because otherwise, if you have like 100 hashes, you don't know who they belong to without some kind of effort. We'll just name it blue.hash, save, and then we're going to say John format equals int wordless equals. And there are ways to do John without specifying with these specific switches, like there are specific orders you can use up. So user share wordless rock you, and then blue. Um, there we go. Session complete. And I thought it used to tell us on here, or maybe I'm thinking of Hashcat. Hashcat does. But the pot file should have it. So we should be able to say show. Um, I thought it said it was done. Loaded one password. Oh, because it's sheesh. Maybe I need to ls. So the wordless may not be. I thought we did it before. It is not. Okay. So let's do this. So that will open it up, and then we'll run this command again. All right, there we go. All right. After fumbling around, we have our answer. So this is our answer. We should be able to do that command I was trying to run before, which is just show, and it should show us the command. But we didn't do that. We'll try it real quick just to show that it works. There you go. So yeah, maybe if we provided the correct format, it may have done it. Let's try to do it in this format. Let's see if it'll work. I don't know. It is very picky about the formats. That's kind of the it's kind of the downside of it is that you don't know. There is a command to make it not look at the pot file. And I hardly ever crack passwords. That's why I'm having to look this up. You don't use it, you lose it. Let's see. Hidden options. Nope. Let's see. I don't like those. Let's go back to our friend that was actually giving us the answers. So you can do new session name. There's another command you can do besides this. We can try a new session name though, but there is a way to do it, and it's very annoying. Let's see. Read the frickin' manual, man. Let's see. Let's Control F. There's a lot of references to the pot file. That's interesting. Let's see. I could have swore there was a command for it. Oh well. Whatever, man. Whatever. So if we do this, oh, geez, I pasted way too much. So one of the fun things you should be learning as a hacker is how to crack or how to read errors. So that's not working. So let's do locate.pots. Update DB. So locate is a really good way to find specific stuff. So in this case, I was looking for the .pot files where we're storing hashes. So we'll rm probably this one here. And then if we run this, so if we run it, okay, so it did take the format. So that's interesting. So yeah, you could just take exactly what's from hash dump, put it in the John without any modification, and let it rip. Now that's not going to be the case with every hash format you can get out there. You will run into errors inevitably. So just keep an eye out for that. Cool. All right, so let's move on then. We have a hash. I've actually never, I haven't used Google's AI like this, so that's interesting. Cool. So it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. What we do need is to load our session, ls. All right, so we have 3 hashes we need. This found community system root, cd slash ls, cat flag 1. So that's the first flag. It looks goofy because there probably wasn't a new line character. So there's that one. So let's go to cd slash windows slash temp ls. Let's see, cat stage1.txt. There's not our flag. Oh, let's go back to an ls here. Okay, so I thought it might be there. Not Windows, temp. And the other one, the one for administrators, cd slash users, ls, cd John, ls. Usually they put them on the desktop. Maybe not. So, users have pretty interesting things. Um, documents. Yep, there we go. All right, cd or cat documents flag 3. There's that one. And let's see, Windows doesn't like the location of this flag. I've never actually tried to search the entire operating system for a flag, but maybe we'll do that. Um, Windows users program data. There are temporary files and users. Could be recycle bin. Nothing in there. Let's see. basically like repping. If we can't do this in Interpreter, we can get into a shell. Let's try this. It looks like it's doing some regex. Let's see. So we could launch into a shell. We could try doing this by itself. It didn't like the command. Oof, forgot. I can't control up. So let's try find str/s/i/m flag star.txt. So this is, I don't know if that would be a quick way to do it, but basically, yeah, you're just searching the entire operating system for something with flags so that we can find our flag. It may take some time to run, especially if you're searching the entire operating system. And we are specifying a specific type of file, so flag.txt. So that may help it hone in some here. Now, our other one was jacked up because it just did not like the formatting, like these quotes here were messing things up. Um, it is simply because I copied exactly what it was in the Metasploit or Meterpreter shell, which we needed to escape special characters, obviously causing it not to work. And yeah, so what we can do is while that's gone, we can see if we can figure out what this riddle is. Let's ask, wow, can't talk. Which, let's see, directories are deleted regularly on a Windows OS? Let's see what it says. App data, Windows temp. We checked Windows temp. We checked recycling bin. Windows old. Didn't see that there. The only one of these we didn't check was app data. So that could be it. We'll give it another few minutes to see if it can finish up. Yeah, now I'm just looking to optimize. File Explorer, PowerShell. Could do PowerShell. Man, this thing's taking forever. I wish it would tell us as it was going through. S probably means like silence or something stupid. Nope. There is no silence. It will print if it does find something, and it is still running. Um, Good stuff. We'll let this thing continue pondering. Let's cd slash user slash John cd slash users slash John ls cd app. So one word? Yes. Data. Huh. Yeah, I don't know where this sucker would be. I'm trying to think. Trying to think what forensic artifacts would get wiped. It's probably somewhere stupid I'm just not thinking about. Um, let's go into a shell, PowerShell. Let's try the PowerShell command. Sometimes PowerShell is faster. Um, let's tune this real quick. This is something you're probably see me do all the time. I like to tune it before I submit it because that way I can make sure it's right. Because sometimes, you can't just click anywhere in the command line, sadly. So it's easier for me to just manipulate it where I can click around and make changes as necessary. And I have something for later in case I need to um, modify it and retry it. So I like to work it in there. And sometimes I'll keep multiple variations of it. Especially when you're doing like tuning of an exploit, it's good to work through trying things. Um, because a lot of like I remember working on the OSCP exam. I went through probably 20 variations of an exploit on the exam just systematically until I got one to catch. Um, just takes time. Man, I'm tired. All right. Do we have a hint? Let's Google and see what it says so that we can move on. Oh, config. Interesting. Oh, so this is cool. I actually didn't know that was a thing. So this is why I definitely suggest looking for looking at other people's solutions so you can find stuff easier. So we'll see how long it takes. If we do this, I should have looked at the syntax and realized that there was a pattern there, flag 123. Probably actually told us too. Um, flag2.txt, sure. Casing's a little bit different. We'll let this roll. Lots of, wow, this was created back in 2013, so that's cool. And there we go. We have our results here. So now we should just be able to cat this, Control Shift V. Why doesn't it like it? May have to do it in quotes. I think they had the exact issue. There we go. I do want to see how long it takes to do it. No, I don't. I was gonna say to do it the way I was trying to do it, but I don't really care. Maybe we'll let it. Nah, let's not and say we did. Okay. So how do we counted through joining the lead? How do I get back out of here? Great. And we'll just go ahead and terminate this. We finish. And let's go back to what we were doing. This is the one I'm enrolled in. So let's see what else we can do. Give me a room, people. Give me a room. We can do Kenobi. Let's go. Let's join it. Let's see if we can knock it out in 30 minutes. So we're just waiting on our IP address. So I'll have to remember search. That was cool. That was a cool little trick. And one thing we can do here is start. So exit. Um, let's see. Start MSF database. Because that's probably why we weren't able to do what we needed to do. The database wasn't starting. So we can go ahead and make sure it's running. And then next time we start up, the hashes should be available. Then we'll just need to make sure we empty it out next time because they're obviously not related, this machine with the last machine. All right, so MSF console. All right, so now we're here. So let's just do our quick ping. Yep, we got connection. Let's do our nmap scan. Click nmap scan. Tag pn. Is that right? Always forget nmap-h. Host discovery. We want to turn it off. Okay, we did it correctly. So we have FTP, SSH. What we're going to do is just take this and we'll stick it over here. So one thing I do like to do typically is I will like to explore these. So we have SSH, probably won't be able to get in that. We do have 80, which is definitely something we want to look at. We have NFS, which is something we want to look at. One thing, because there's FTP there, let's go ahead and do NC. We'll do this. Oops. We'll use netcat to connect to it, or actually telnet. Well, we'll use netcat and see what it does. So we do have this. So we do have commands here, which is kind of interesting. Which means we can access stuff. And it means we can access stuff, we can give it commands. So this is pretty verbose. We do have to log in though. So we can try default credentials and stuff like that. So this is interesting. We'll take this and put it on our list here right beside FTP. There may be some vulnerabilities for this specific one as well. Let's do another fun trick here, which is enum for Linux, which is a solid, classic, old school, quick thing to see if there are any anonymous shares or any shares we can get to um, as a guest or whatever. So some basic stuff here, work group. Oh, we do have an anonymous share. A lot of really good stuff. This is pretty interesting. So we could probably get onto that share. And we'll just draft this information down here, stuff that's useful. And as you pen test more and more, you'll get familiar with what's useful. Like this isn't necessarily useful. Um, this isn't necessarily useful besides Kenobi, but we'll see that the work group is work group. Okay. Um, this may be useful here. So we'll take that, add it down here. Um, this is useful, share enumeration. Put that down here. And work group, master, sure. These are interesting. Print, actually, print's not interesting, but anonymous is, like the ability for us to connect to anonymous. Oh, this guy's larking late over in Cali. Okay, so we have a couple of things here. We got a password policy. This is really interesting in a real pen test because the thing we want to look for is things that'll help us narrow our password guessing if we plan on doing that. So we need at least 5 characters here. History link, don't really care. Complexity flag, so there's no complexity flags. Um, let's see, lockout is another one we typically want to look at. I don't see it in there. Maximum password age. We set lockout count on 30 minutes. So basically, we can do batches every 30 minutes if there is a lockout threshold. So same here, but there isn't. So we can basically guess passwords forever and won't have to worry about it, which is cool. We do have some SIDs, so that's cool. We do have a local user. Kenobi is a user, so that's useful. So a lot of decently useful information here on Kenobi. So one thing we will, I think it's doing some city enumeration here. We'll let it continue in case it's something interesting. We want to connect to this anonymous share is what we want to connect to. And so we can do that with several tools. SNMP, what is it? Connect to SNMP share Linux. So I don't want to mount it. We don't really have to mount it. A lot of people will go do that, and I used to do that as well. Connect to an SMB share in Kali without mounting, because I don't want to mount. I think it's like SMB enum or something like that. SMB client, that's what it is. Yeesh. SMB client, and we don't want to list. We actually want to connect. So we'll do that. Actually, we'll just pass it just like this. Because if we connect, see if it'll let us. Yeah, so it let us. And that's because I think it actually connected as a guest, not necessarily anonymous. Because anonymous, typically you provide a blank user, blank password, where guest will typically allow any credentials, if I remember correctly. Um, Get log.txt, and then we can take a peek at it. So here we go. Let's make sure you connect to network. Done. Scan the machine with Nmap. How many ports are open? We said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's correct. Wants us to run that using how many shares have been found? We actually saw 3. Yeah. It shows us what we were doing. Once we connect the list the files on the share, what is the file you can see? Log.txt. What port is FTP running on? We know it's 21. What mount can we see? So earlier your scan will show port 111 running a service RPC bind. This is just a server that converts RPC program number into a universal address. When RPC service is started, it tells RPC bind the address at which it's listening. In our case, port 11 is access to a network file system. Let's use Nmap to enumerate this. So let's do that real quick. Paste, we may need to elevate. Sometimes network stuff just doesn't work without elevating because it needs access to the raw socket. All right. Oh, that's cool. I've never used it in this way. So what mount can we see /var? I may be missing out on a whole different area. Because we can see it, but can we access it? I wonder if it's going to walk us through that. We already have this information as well. I want to see search exploit. I actually do not like using search exploit. Oh, crap. Sorry. Thought it was in this tab. Search exploit, pro, FTPD. That's all I want us to search. Does it tell us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or is it looking for this particular one? So if it's this particular one, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if that's the answer. That is the answer. Okay. So they should probably have for the Pro FTP running. Okay. Me moving too fast. You should have found an exploit for mod copy module. Yep. The mod copy implements blah 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 commands which can be used to copy files directories from one place to another on the server. An unauthenticated client can leverage these commands to copy files from any part of the system to a chosen destination. All right, so think about this, right? If we have the ability to copy from one location to the other, we have anonymous access to this particular share. Then, if we wanted to, we could copy sensitive files like your SAM and System Hive out of there to somewhere else or whatever else we want to copy. So it's kind of interesting. Or in this case, they're showing IDSRA. Well, this is Linux, not Windows. So we could actually copy the shadow file if we had access to it. this case, we're copying RSA keys, which is cool. Cool. Copy. Let's see. Okay. So it looks like it's kind of skipping a few things. We do need to move his key. I wonder if it wants us. Oh, it wants us to just utilize it just like that. So let us do that. Leave that open there. Have all these freaking things open. Okay, so let's do. 13 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. So let's do NC. Oh, we already have the answer here. And then we're going to say site cpfr slash home slash Kenobi slash dot ssh hidden file, because it begins with a dot, RSA. And now it's asking us for a destination name, side cpto slash var slash tmp slash id underscore RSA. So we're moving it from Kenobi's directory, right? So we saw SSH was open. He has an SSH key that we can leverage, and we copied it, and now they want us to mount Kenobi NFS. I wonder if it will let me just connect like this slash var. And let's see, we have this. I think this is the log we printed out. So when we look at the log, we can see that there is an SSH key. So that's how they figured it out, or how you would figure out if you went there and did it yourself. Now, I assume somewhere in this log, we will also see that slash var is available as well. So basically what we're looking at or looking for is areas that are not commented out. So this is Kenobi share is accessible. Printers, but I don't see slash var. So that's interesting. But I think we saw it here in TFS LS. And so here we can basically mount it. But I'm still curious, well, because it's on a different port, maybe because it's on that specific port. Let's see. Mount, show mount. Let's see what it says. I'd be curious too. I hate mounting stuff. Nope, it's saying we have to mount it. Interesting. Okay, whatever. Whatever. All right, so we can go ahead and do these commands. Pretty straightforward. It won't let us. And then we'll type this stuff in. So we're saying mount slash var to the directory that we just created. Should mount, and then we'll just have to cd to this, and we should be able to hop right into it and see what's up. Oh, there we go. So now we can see everything. We put stuff in temp, I believe. So we have it there. And now we should be able to SSH tag ID RSA, and should be Kenobi at, nope, sheesh. So we veered slightly, very slightly, and logged right in. ls cad user.text, beautiful. Submit. Now it wants us to do SUID, maybe. Privilege escalation with path variable manipulation. So this may be interesting. I don't think I've done this one in a while. SUID bits can be dangerous. Some binaries, such as password, need to be run with elevated privileges as it's resetting your password on the system. However, other custom files could have that already set. Yeah, very true. So this is one of the very common pathways that you will escalate privileges in a Linux environment. So a handful of them, really these, looking to see what you can run as sudoer, like sudoer -11 or -L. Also looking to see what things are running as elevated privileges in general. So it could be a cron job that's executing something as elevated user, and you have access to manipulate that file. A bunch of common things, but this is one of them as well. Now it's asking us to look for whatever file is out of the ordinary. These all look ordinary to me. Maybe I haven't seen this before, or this. I've seen this on another box. Something with just 3, 3, 3, 3. And I'm just counting, no, 3, 3, 4. 3, 3. Maybe this one. It's not that one. Menu maybe? Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with this one. So we're running strings here. It's saying that it's looking at curl. So these sections here, curl, uname, if config, and they're not in quotations. This shows the binary is running without a full path. As this file is run as root privileges, we can manipulate our path to gain root. So this is kind of similar to what we've seen before. Which is kind of fun, where you can manipulate the environment variable to manipulate where it's looking for files when you're executing them as user. This is something I haven't used before, playing around with it in here. So this is kind of cool. I'd like to dig into these more and get a slightly better understanding of the mechanisms here. I would not say I'm a Linux SME by any means. Oops. So I have a handful of tricks. This isn't typically one that I would look for. Oh, I did export exploit. Wow. There we go. And then we just run it again. And so it's kind of interesting. Status check was correct. So something didn't quite work right. Echo bin bash curl export path slash temp export path equals slash tmp path, and then we do it. It should have given us a shell actually, and it did not. And this is the last little bit here. Um, so what we may need to do, I know what we did. Although we put it in the wrong place. That's what it was. Um, so let's cd to slash tmp. Let's run these commands. So basically, I exported it to the current directory, which was the user's home, and the file didn't exist. So if the file didn't exist, it was going to utilize the command that was already there. So that's why it didn't work. Now we have a shell. And we can basically ls slash root dot slash root actually. Then we can say slash cat or cat slash root dot txt, and we have everything. So just to talk a little bit more about this, because we're right at time. Yeah, so basically the idea behind this is if we can hijack the path that it's looking for binaries, or manipulate the file that it's looking for like a specific file that's running as an elevated user. So that's why we search earlier to see which files are running as elevated. And we may have been able to do some funky stuff with these other ones as well, just FYI. You just look for SUID stuff, SUID privesc. There's a specific site for it. And I just forgot what they are. Let's see, maybe Pinterest. SUID binaries. I'm gonna do SUID binaries. It's always tough finding exactly what you're looking for. These are abstracts. It's not what I'm looking for. There's a specific site where you can look at them and just like click through. You just select the one you're looking for. This will have what we're looking for, likely. But what I wanted was like where we could select it basically and do it. So what we can do is essentially search for one of these. So usually trying to think if any of these can do it. I don't think ping can do it. Well, none of these really make sense. Maybe SUID binary site. Ah, here it is. GTFO bins. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see, SUID. So we can basically look through this list. Wherever it's at, here it is. So anything so we have at. So it's not in here. Basically, we selected SUID because that's how we want to do it. We don't see it in there. Maybe CHFN, not in there. Fuser amount, not in there. We can go just alphabetical here. I wonder if menu is actually in here. Menu is not in here. Sudo surely isn't in here. Nope. New group, maybe? Nope. And anyone we missed? G, new UID. Nothing with a new. I think we already looked at G password, PK exec, and password. So, nope. Nope. Okay. Let's try mount, ping, and sue. No sue. No ping. No mount. Boo. Okay, so maybe that was the only one. Okay, well, with that, I think we finished another box tonight. So we got 166 points. We are catching up with you, D. DeVito. Coming for you, man. Coming for you. Yeah, let's go ahead and close this, terminate this box. Bingo. All right. So that's it. We got 2 done. Also, just point out, I'm in Silver League now. Look out, people. Look out. And yeah, we got a couple of things done. We're working on our offensive pen testing roadmap. And we're just chugging along. We hit 14% today. Knocked out 2 of these. We haven't really been looking at any of those. We'll hit these next. Looks like I've done a handful of these already. I could have swore I did Still Mountain. Buffer overflow. Gosh, those would be a whole thing in itself. Some pretty cool Active Directory ones. Those would be fun to brush up on. And another Mr. Robot one, retro. Cool. So that's that. We are going to call it quits for today. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you'll learn something watching me fumble my way through cracking passwords. I haven't done it forever, and usually I utilize not John the Ripper because it's not as fast, although I think their updates have made it faster. But this is real. This is me looking at it with you as you look through it, just utilizing experience, Googling, and AI now, apparently. So if you want to learn something specific, let me know in the comments of this, and this will be on YouTube if you're watching it there. Drop it in the video. Feel free to join in the chat, join in the fun. Should have some people coming up this Thursday to chat with us. I think we got 2 people that said they're going to hop on there. One of them might be taking the lead. And yeah, we'll see you next time on the stream. See you, everyone.